The truth no one told you. Most men spend their entire lives chasing women, trying to win their affection with money, charm, or good looks. But what if I told you that's not what actually works? What really makes a woman obsessed isn't what you show on the outside. It's how you make her feel. Behind every smile, behind every "I'm fine," women carry emotional patterns, psychological triggers. They don't even fully understand themselves. And if you, as a man, can learn to recognize these hidden emotional cues, you'll flip the game. You'll stop chasing and start attracting. Not by pretending to be someone else, but by becoming the kind of man who naturally pulls women into his orbit. This isn't manipulation, it's mastery of yourself, of emotion, of human nature. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you the 10 hidden female weaknesses that, when understood, will make you unforgettable. You'll learn what women crave but can't explain, what they test for but never admit, and how you can transform yourself into a man who doesn't just attract attention, but respect, desire, and lasting loyalty. Let's begin. 1. The power of emotional certainty. In chaos, true strength isn't loud, it's steady. Ancient Stoic wisdom. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been with someone who made you feel like the world could be falling apart, but as long as they were calm, you'd be okay? That's emotional certainty. And for women, it's one of the most powerful subconscious needs they have, whether they say it or not. You see, women are emotional beings. That's not a flaw. It's a strength. They feel the world deeply. Relationships, words, energy, tension, trust. It's all filtered through emotion. And when they look at a man, what they're really asking, without even knowing it, is this: can I feel safe with you, even when everything else feels uncertain? Now here's the hidden weakness most men don't see. Women are magnetically drawn to men who can remain emotionally grounded, even when things get tough. The man who panics when plans change, the man who gets moody when she pulls away, the guy who raises his voice when she's upset. She might forgive it once, maybe twice, but attraction, that's gone. Because the moment she feels like she has to stabilize you, the roles are reversed. You become the emotional one. She becomes the anchor. And whether she admits it or not, she'll start to pull back. What keeps a woman coming closer is calm strength, not coldness, not pretending you don't care, but having so much self-respect, so much clarity that you don't react like a boy. You respond like a man. It's the man who listens to her vent without trying to fix everything, who doesn't get defensive when challenged, who stays steady when she's emotional. That man becomes her safe place, her peace. And trust me, women chase peace more than they chase passion. So here's the challenge. When things go wrong, when emotions rise, when she's testing you, be still. Don't rush to solve. Don't raise your voice. Don't chase. Hold your ground. Let your calm speak louder than her chaos. Because when a woman sees that no matter what storm is happening around her, you're the one man who doesn't flinch, that's when she lets her guard down. That's when the trust builds. That's when she starts to truly want you. Not because you said the right words, but because you became what she didn't even know she needed: emotional certainty. 2. Women are drawn to what they can't have. What is rare becomes valuable. What is always there becomes invisible. Stoic principle of desire. Let me tell you something that flips the script on everything you've been taught about women. Women don't chase what they already have. They chase what feels just out of reach. This isn't manipulation, it's human nature. Think about it. Why do people line up for hours to buy limited edition sneakers? Why do diamonds, just rocks from the earth, hold so much power? Because they're hard to get. Scarcity creates value. And when it comes to men, women operate on the same principle without even realizing it. The man who's always available, who answers every message in seconds, who drops everything the moment she calls. He doesn't feel like a prize. He feels like a fan. And fans get appreciated, but they don't get chased. Now I know some people will say, that's not right. Shouldn't we show we care? Yes, but not at the cost of your value. Here's the truth. A woman doesn't fall for the man who needs her. She falls for the man who chooses her when he didn't have to. You want to trigger a woman's curiosity, her desire? Let her wonder when she'll hear from you next. Let her think about what's on your mind. Let her question whether she's fully won you. Mystery is magnetic. The moment she feels like she knows everything about you, that she can predict your every move, that she's already got you, that's the moment her interest starts to fade. But if you keep a part of yourself just beyond her reach, if you show up with purpose, not desperation, if you reveal yourself piece by piece, like a well-written novel, she'll keep turning the pages. She'll want more. So what does this look like? You don't always reply immediately. You don't explain where you are every hour. You don't text good morning and good night every day like clockwork. You stay busy with your own life, your mission, your growth. Because the man who's chasing something bigger than her, he becomes the mystery she can't solve, the story she can't stop reading. Remember this, the more she wonders, the more she wants. And the man who doesn't need to be chased, because he's too focused on his path, is the man she'll chase without even realizing why. So don't be afraid to leave space. Don't be afraid to be the rare one. Because in a world full of men trying too hard, the one who doesn't becomes unforgettable. 3. The hidden power of voice and presence. You don't have to shout to be heard. You just need to speak from a place of knowing. The Stoic Guide to Commanding Respect. Before you say a single word, a woman has already made a decision about you. Not with logic, not even consciously, but through instinct. Your presence, not your pickup lines, not your job title, not your bank account, is the first thing she feels. And it speaks louder than anything you could say. Let me explain. There are men who walk into a room and something shifts. People turn. Women straighten their posture. Other men go quiet, subtly, but it happens. That man hasn't said a word, but his energy already speaks for him. That is presence. And one of its strongest components? A deep, controlled voice. Science has shown that men with deeper voices are perceived as more dominant, trustworthy, and competent. It's evolutionary, a biological signal of strength, protection, leadership. But I'm not telling you to fake a deep voice. What matters more is this. Speak with intention. Speak slower. Drop the filler words. Let silence do half the talking. And when you say something, mean it. Your tone should say, I don't need to convince you. I just speak the truth. That's what presence is. It's calm. It's focused. It's grounded. Presence is also in your body. A confident man doesn't fidget. He doesn't pace. He doesn't constantly check his phone. He's relaxed yet alert. Shoulders back, chin level. Movements deliberate, not frantic. Because here's the truth. Women notice the little things. The slight tremble in your hand, the darting eyes, the nervous laugh. And they feel it, not as charm, but as insecurity. Now flip the script. Imagine this. You enter the room slowly. You say little at first, but when you speak, your voice is rich, calm, and intentional. Your gaze is steady, not piercing, not arrogant, just grounded. You don't fill the silence. You let it make you more mysterious. That's the man she remembers, because you don't need to perform masculinity. You simply embody it. So here's your takeaway. Master your voice. Practice slowing down, lowering your tone naturally, and speaking with pause and poise. Master your posture. Ground yourself. Take up space. Be still. Master your presence. Stop chasing approval. Start radiating certainty. Because when a woman feels your presence before you speak, she doesn't just hear you, she feels you. And long after the conversation ends, she's still thinking about the way your energy made her feel. 4. Women can't resist a man who walks away. A man who can walk away holds the power, because he has already chosen himself. The Stoic Guide to Emotional Strength. Ask yourself this. What happens when most men sense they're losing a woman? They panic. They chase. They try to fix. They apologize for things they didn't do. They lower their value just to hold on. And in doing so, they lose the very thing that made them attractive in the first place: self-respect. But the man who's truly grounded, he doesn't chase. He watches her pull away, and he lets her. He walks. Not because he doesn't care, but because he cares more about his dignity than someone else's attention. Let me be clear. Walking away doesn't mean ghosting. It doesn't mean acting cold or playing games. It means this: you are willing to lose her, but not lose yourself. And that is irresistible to a woman, because the second she realizes you're not emotionally dependent on her approval, her mind starts racing. Why isn't he chasing me? Did I just lose him? What if another woman sees his value before I do? You see, the most powerful emotional trigger in human psychology is this: loss equals value. People don't chase what they have unlimited access to. They chase what they're afraid to lose. So here's the paradox. The more willing you are to walk away, the less you'll ever need to. Why? Because your energy shifts. You no longer show up desperate. You no longer respond to tests. You no longer bend your boundaries just to please her. Instead, you communicate this without saying a word. I know what I bring to the table. I'm not afraid to eat alone. When you have that mindset, women feel it. They see that your life is full, with or without them. And suddenly, the very moment she was pulling away, she's now chasing after the version of you she can't control. Because here's the truth: a man who needs nothing is the man who gets everything. So the next time a woman withdraws, disrespects, or tests your value, don't plead, don't prove, don't push. Just pause, smile, and walk away with your crown still on. Because when you walk away like a man who doesn't need her, she'll either rise to meet you or reveal that she never deserved you to begin with. 5. A man with a mission is her kryptonite. Purpose isn't what you chase, it's what you become. The Stoic Guide to Magnetic Masculinity. Let me tell you a secret most men don't learn until it's too late. Women aren't obsessed with your looks, your money, or even your confidence. What they truly crave is a man who's going somewhere, a man with direction, a mission, a mountain he's climbing, whether or not she's watching. Because here's the truth: most men make her the mission. They orbit around her, drop their goals for her, cancel their priorities the second she calls. And at first, she may smile. She may even seem flattered. But deep down, she starts to feel it. This man doesn't have a life without me. If I leave, he collapses. And that feeling kills attraction, because a woman doesn't want to be your world. She wants to be part of a world that's already in motion. Let's break it down. A man with a mission doesn't text her 10 times a day, doesn't show up at her door every time she snaps her fingers, doesn't drop everything just because she's bored. Why? Because he's building something: a career, a body, a purpose, a legacy. And that pulls her in like gravity. Let me ask you, what are you building? What do you wake up for that has nothing to do with her? Because if your only purpose is her, you become replaceable. But when your mission is bigger than your relationship, you become a force. You're not needy, you're needed. And when a woman sees you moving toward greatness, with or without her, she won't want to miss her place at your side. This doesn't mean you ignore her. It means you stay rooted in your purpose while inviting her to witness your rise. And that's the paradox. The more focused you are on your mission, the more women want to be part of it. Not because you begged, not because you chased, but because you inspired. So write this down and remember it. The man with a mission never runs out of magnetism, because he's too busy becoming someone to ever worry about being chosen. Now pause, look around. If your days are full of distractions, drama, and empty scrolling, that's not purpose. That's avoidance. Building, refine, rise, and let her watch. As the man with a mission becomes the man no woman can forget. 6. The paradox of controlled vulnerability. A man's strength is not in how much he hides, but in how well he reveals without crumbling. The Stoic Guide. Let's shatter a dangerous myth right now. Women love men who are in touch with their emotions. That's only half the truth. Because when most men hear that, they make the fatal mistake of oversharing, crying too early, dumping all their fears, wounds, and doubts onto her before trust has even been built. They confuse emotional honesty with emotional dependency. And that, my friend, kills attraction. So here's the paradox. Women are weak for men who are vulnerable, but they lose respect for men who are emotionally fragile. Let me explain. A strong man doesn't hide everything. He's not a brick wall. But when he shares, he chooses how and when. He's already processed the pain. He's already fought through the fear. He's not bleeding out on her lap. He's letting her see the scar, not the open wound. That's controlled vulnerability. The average man? He vents too soon. He's seeking comfort. He's hoping she'll rescue him emotionally. But what does that tell her? This man needs me to be his therapist, his emotional anchor, his safe space. It flips the polarity. She becomes the masculine force. And you become the burden. But now picture the stoic man. He's composed, grounded. But every once in a while, he lets her in. Maybe he shares a story about his past, not for pity, but as proof that he survived it. And that moment, that quiet strength, it shakes her to her core, because now she sees the man who feels without being ruled by feeling. She sees depth without weakness, power without emotional chaos. That's the difference. Psychology backs it up too. Studies show that selective vulnerability, especially when combined with confidence, deepens emotional connection faster than almost anything else, but only when it comes from a place of control. So here's the takeaway. Don't bottle it all up. That's not strength. That's numbness. But don't spill it all out either. That's not honesty. That's desperation. Instead, let her see the storm you've weathered, not the one you haven't faced yet. She doesn't want to carry your emotions. She wants to feel safe in the presence of a man who's mastered his. That's the kind of vulnerability that makes her lean in and never want to leave. 7. Women are programmed to test you. She doesn't test you because she hates you. She tests you because she wants to believe in you. The Stoic Guide. Most men get it completely wrong. They think a woman who creates drama, who challenges their ideas, who suddenly gets cold or moody, is just being too much. But what they don't see is the psychology behind the pattern. Women test men, not because they're cruel, not because they're confused, but because they're wired to filter. Let me break it down. A woman deep in her subconscious wants to know, can this man emotionally lead? Will he crumble under pressure? Can I feel safe with him long term? So how does she find out? She tests, not in a lab, but in real-life interactions. And guess what? These tests never sound like, hey, I'm about to test your strength now. Please pass. Haha, no. They look like a random disagreement just to see if you'll fold a delay in texting, to see if you'll become needy, a challenge to your opinion, to see if you can hold your frame a sudden emotional shift, to see if you can stay centered and if you react emotionally, if you beg, over-explain, get angry, or act insecure. Fail. But if you remain calm, if you smile, hold your position, and stay grounded, pass. It's not about winning or putting her in her place. It's about showing her without words that you are emotionally immovable, that you are the mountain, not the leaf in the wind. Psychology calls this fitness testing. It's instinctive. Women are biologically wired to test for traits that signal emotional resilience, dominance, and reliability. Here's the irony. If she's testing you, it means she's interested. A woman only tests a man she's considering for something deeper. So don't be offended. Be aware. See the test. Recognize the game. Don't flinch. Instead of reacting, respond with calm, with certainty. For example, don't say, "Why are you acting like this? I didn't do anything wrong." Say, "You seem a little off. I'm here if you want to talk, but I'm not chasing confusion." Don't say, "Please don't leave me." Say, "You're free to go, but I'm not going to beg anyone to stay." That's how you become unshakable. That's how you pass the test. And when you do, She'll feel something she hasn't felt in a long time. Respect, desire, trust, because now she knows you are not the man who needs her validation. You are the man she's been hoping she could finally respect. 8. Confidence in the face of rejection is irresistible. You become untouchable the moment rejection stops affecting your self-worth. The Stoic Guide. Let's face it, most men fear rejection like death. They freeze before walking up to her. They overthink a text reply. They avoid making a move because, what if she says no? What if I look stupid? What if I'm not enough? And this fear, this invisible prison, is what kills their confidence before they even begin. But here's the paradox. The man who embraces rejection becomes irresistible. Let me explain. Rejection isn't failure. It's just feedback. It doesn't say you're not good enough. It says you're not the right fit for her. And when you understand that, everything changes. Because now when a woman says, I'm not looking for anything right now. I think we're just better as friends. You're sweet, but you don't shrink. You don't chase. You don't panic. You smile. You say something like, no worries. You seem like a great person. Wish you the best. And then you walk away. Why does this work? Because it shows her and the world that your self-worth isn't up for debate. Psychology calls this non-attachment to outcome. It's one of the most magnetic masculine traits on earth. It tells women, I'm a man with options. I don't need you to like me for me to know who I am. Think about it. Who's more attractive? The man who begs for another chance, or the man who shrugs off rejection and keeps moving forward? Women are emotionally tuned to confidence under pressure. They watch how you respond when things don't go your way. Because anyone can look confident when they're winning. But true strength is revealed when you're told no, and you don't flinch. And here's the kicker. When a woman sees that she can't rattle you, she'll want to get closer. Because now you're no longer just another guy. You're a man who stands tall in the storm, unmoved, unbothered, undeniably magnetic. 9. Why women chase mystery, not certainty. If she always knows how you feel, she stops wondering. And when she stops wondering, she stops chasing. The Stoic Guide. Let's talk about something powerful, but almost invisible. Mystery. It's not about playing games. It's not about being toxic. It's about one simple truth. Curiosity drives attraction. Most men don't get this. They think the more they open up, the more she'll like them. So they text back instantly, tell her everything right away, constantly say how much they like her, post every emotion online like a public diary, and while they mean well, they kill the chase before it even begins. Because here's the thing, women don't fall in love with predictability. They fall for a man who makes them wonder. What's he thinking? Why didn't he text back right away? What's going on in that mind of his? That tension? That uncertainty? That's what stirs her desire. Think of it like a movie trailer. The mystery makes you want to see the full story, but if the trailer gives away everything, you lose interest. So what does mystery look like in real life? You don't overshare. You let her earn your story. You keep some parts of your life private. Not secret, just sacred. You take your time replying, not because of games, but because you have a life. You leave space in conversation. Silence is powerful. The paradox. The less she knows, the more she wants to know. The more she has to guess, the more she thinks about you. And that's when the dynamic flips. She's the one analyzing your words. She's the one trying to impress you. She's the one chasing. But here's the key. This isn't about being cold. It's about being composed. You're not hiding. You're selective. You're not distant. You're disciplined. And that, my friend, is the essence of masculine mystery. 10. The man who controls his desires controls everything. Most men are slaves to their urges, but the man who masters his impulses becomes irresistible. The Stoic Guide. Let's end this journey with the most powerful truth of all. Desire is not the enemy. Being controlled by it is. See, most men? They live in reaction mode. They chase women, They beg for attention. They say yes to anything that looks good in the moment. But here's what they don't realize. Every time you chase what's easy, you give away your power. And women, they feel that. When you can't stop staring at her body, when you drop your plans just to please her, when you lose control of your emotions over a text, it tells her one thing. This man is not in charge of himself. And if you're not in charge of you, why would she trust you to lead her? Now flip the script. Picture the man who can walk away, who says no to things that don't serve his purpose, who doesn't chase, beg, or over-explain. This man has standards. He doesn't act from desperation. He acts from conviction. That is magnetic. Women crave this man, not because he plays hard to get, but because he is hard to get. He doesn't need you to like him. He likes himself. He doesn't chase validation. He builds vision. When you master your desires, you stop being predictable, you stop being needy, you stop being forgettable, and you become something else entirely. A man of discipline, a man of mission, a man worth chasing. So here's your final reminder. Don't be controlled by lust. Don't seek validation. Don't let pleasure steer your purpose. Instead, build, lead, withhold. Walk away when it's necessary, because when you can say no to the world starts saying yes to you. You've just learned the 10 psychological triggers, the hidden female weaknesses that most men never see. If you've made it this far, you're no longer average. You're awakening the high-value man within, and that changes everything. In life, there's a priceless lesson that many only come to realize after decades of experience. The greatest attraction a person can have doesn't come from appearance, wealth, or status, but from the ability to master oneself. Especially for men, society often imposes heavy expectations. To succeed, to conquer, to always be strong. But in that whirlwind, many lose the most important thing, their self-control. A mature, wise man is not swayed by emotions, desires, or the need for external approval. He doesn't live to please others, nor does he lose himself just to be liked. Instead, he lives with purpose, with principles, and knows when to say no, even to the things that seem most tempting. The irony is, when you stop chasing, the world begins to move toward you. Others respect you more when you respect yourself. Calmness, confidence, and emotional control become a natural magnet, drawing in healthy relationships and genuine admiration. For older adults, this lesson resonates even deeper. We no longer need to prove anything to anyone. We simply need to live in alignment with our values. And that is the deepest message of all. When you master yourself, you master your life. Until next time, stay stoic, stay sharp, stay sovereign,